Okay, so in this session we will plan we are going to cover the remaining pending topics. Okay, that is nothing but this topic. Performance factors on database tables. This is your almost going to be the end topic of the SC11. Okay. Now, if you want to explore SC11, go to Google. Yes, Google only, open search, type help.scp.com. Yes, that is the reliable source I said. Here you type English is the default language, and moreover in the help dot you have to search first. Search or else you can go by these many things are there. You can everywhere hyperlinks are provided. You can drill down what you want to go with that. In the SAP is good at documentation. You have to have a lot of passion and commitment. If you want to do day and night 24 365 days, you want to um, explore, yes, entire in-depth speech, option by option explanation is given here, because this is the error-free material you can follow. Whatever the other materials build on this main source only, because this is the site from official SAP. So always better to have, so follow the. Yes. Suppose if I go to, I have a doubt. You search on any topic, no worries. Directly type ABAP dictionary. Yes, type ABAP dictionary. You have BC ABAP dictionary, normal ABAP dictionary. Yes, BC ABAP dictionary will give the complete. Yes, this is your. Yes, if you go to one type of search, if you go to the help.scp again, okay, if you search it, BC ABAP dictionary, directly it will take you to BC means basis components. Directly it will take you to that. You will get the search result. Yes. Okay. BC hyphen ABAP BC basis. Okay. It should type only space the dictionary. Enter. You will get it. Yes. You take this. Right click. Open in a new window. This you right click. Open in new window. Simple. Yes. Here there are many. Okay. So if you look at, this is almost, so it is giving the simplified one. This is giving the detailed one. So two types you will get it here. So either way you have to go through it, refer it directly from standard SAP, because finally we have to refer to the SAP help portal, help library, we call it as the help portal, help library, we call it as. So here everything is available here. End result, whatever I covered, I learned from this source only. Ultimately, I'm showing you the original learning source only. Yes. Okay. In this, we will learn the first topic called as performance. So, performance is a very important word nowadays in 21st century. It could be employee performance, it could be system performance, it could be any mobile laptop, any performance, right? So, if it is working fine as per our expectation, we will continue. If something we purchased, if it is not working up to my expectation, we will simply return because of poor performance, we call it as. So, if employee perform well, he will get hike and appraisal. And similarly, opposite also. Okay, position designation, either a increase or decrease. So performance plays important vital role everywhere, not only at. Same rule applicable to tables also. But what are the factors hit, which affects on the tables? Because SAP is a business software, ABAP is a business programming language. Most of the time, daily, directly or indirectly, we are working with tables only, because all the programs and screens and classes, everything built on tables only. That's why we are spending much time on this tables only. Yes, in these tables. So now, at screen level, sometimes people are complaining that it is slow. At form level, it is slow. At report level, it is slow. Earlier, it was working fine. Now we are getting the delay response. That is the technically speaking, the response is delayed. I will tell you, if you again try to understand the landscape dimension. Suppose we have created something, a program or report. We tested thoroughly in the development, and further move on to the quality, and finally move to the production. In the production also, initial days it was working fine too. We used to get the quick response. But over a period of time, same program, earlier it was working fine, now it is taking lot of time. This is the most common complaint from the business or client or customer. Yes, why it is taking longer time? Earlier it was executing faster, now it is taking time. This is one of the main reason is earlier the master data and transaction data was less, because this was at initial level. But in the production live business server, what will happen daily is we are getting daily, there is a lot of data is getting added, accumulating. Okay, accumulating, adding to the existing. New data is keep on adding at the production box. So when the data gets increased, obviously the select query also takes time because of that. That's what. So if the data is increased, how you are going to handle it? There are, but the customer says that there are, but I don't know, do whatever, but I want, because nowadays what happens, general tendency, or else the users, super user, business user, uh, like all the users hierarchy also. Nobody have patience to wait for hours together, minutes together. If they want, when they press F4, they are expecting quick result. When they press F8 button, they are expecting quick result. Everyone want quick output, quick results. So the complaint most of the cases is that do whatever you want, but we want a quick output, quick result. This is the ultimate bottom line state. These are all the expectations from the client or business. So at that time, how you are going to address these issues? Because I'm mostly, before going to introduce these topics, I am giving the business cases, live cases, because where I cannot type all those things. You have to listen. That's it. You have to listen and understand. Okay, we will revise it one more time, the same topic. This topic we can cover it now also as a part of S11, or else this topic we can discuss it as a separate topic, as a after completion of the entire ABAP course, or after completion of the reports, we have a separate topic called as performance, overall performance. Right. So that is the data fetching, the data from the database or retrieving the data from tables is getting delayed, slow. How you have to address this is the question. So now there are two, three solutions are there. Yes. So first option is buffering. Second is log data changes. Third one is okay, like kind of indexes creation. Yes, we will discuss on one by one. Yes. So first of all, we are going to consider the buffering topic. See why we have written in this sequence also. There is a meaning for that. So these three factors we have to check it out. Okay, from where this is getting delayed. At the database level, you want to check, and this is a checking area and a solution area also. Yes. Okay. Suppose, if you go to the buffering concept, what exactly the buffer is? So, buffer is a small small memory area at application level. This is the first statement of buffer. So, buffer memory is a part of shared memory. This is already explained to you in the initial slides. You can refer my old slides also. Buffer is a small memory area. Yes, which is a part of. Yes. Okay. Next. So each application server or every application server behind hmm, behind local buffers are available. Or else this statement we can say other way around. Buffers resides behind application server. Both got similar meaning only. Behind applications, right? These are all interview questions, important questions. If you want to work at architect level or this knowledge is must and mandatory. Yes. So now, if I go to the like this particular topic is with picture wise examples. Go to again always I go to the architecture topic. So this is your presentation. Users are working. Presentation server. Yes, presentation one. Presentation where user one working. And this is your presentation server. Two users from this. Okay. Now, if you go to the application level, this is your application server one. This is your application server 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, right? This is already architecture dimension. So application server 1. This is your application server 2. Two application servers are. And the bottom we have the database. Okay, this is the data. Right. What is most of the case? This is the table, right? Table stores the data permanently. This is your database and DB table also. Right. Now, this is known architecture to you. Now, what is new, which I'm going to introduce now is, yes, this is your buffer, buffer 1 and buffer 2 and so on. This is your, okay, like kind of buffer. Yes. So, now, each application, there are many application servers are there, but every application server behind this buffer is there. Okay, buffer. That is, buffer is a memory area. It is this are all comes. We cannot go and see these things. These are all a part of installation. You will get it. So buffer 1 at application server 1, buffer 2 at application server 2, like that. These are all part of shared memory. First, my question is why you need buffers? So buffers, yes, yes, buffers store temporary data. Buffers data is buffers data is volatile. Volatile means it is not fixed. That means it is keep on. It is not fixed. It is keep on changing. That is called as volatile. Okay. Yes. Next. So what happens? Yes, buffers data is reusable also. Data is reusable, right? So what happens? Generally, buffers holds okay little old data. That is, it is not up to okay. It doesn't hold the real time data or the latest data. It holds little old data only. So first of all, what exactly that purpose is that? So when request comes from user, when request comes from user to fetch data from database table, okay. So first what happens? Request comes from presentation to application dispatcher assign task to the work process. Work process component, particularly DB interface. The database interface okay, looks at into the local buffer first. Okay. So work process component, that is database interface, database interface looks at database interface look at local buffer first. If the data, if the expected data, if the expected data is already available in buffer, then simply it reads, okay, it reads from buffer and display. This is what happens. That is one case. Another case, if the if the buffer is empty, if the buffer is empty means if it is empty or required data is not available, both cases you can include here. Okay. Or required data not available. Data not available, what happens? Then request goes to underlying data. Underlying database. Request goes to underlying database. Yes. And result of the database tables data is loaded into buffer first. Okay. Result is loaded into buffer first. Later, yes, later means next. It is moved to user. That is, it is displayed to user simply. That's what the request is. So I repeat it. Suppose user executed select star from this DB table. This is the query. Selected query executed. So first it checks local buffer. No, this is empty. Okay, if it is empty, what happens? Simply request goes to the application server to request goes to DB table. DB table request. The result is loaded into buffer first. Yes, buffer. So buffer to user next. This is the flow you have to understand. Okay, data fetching flow and all. Okay, right? So at that time, buffer holds some data. This is your buffer. Buffer holds some data, right? Which data? This whatever the data is there, the data it holds, right? But now, hmm, yes, what happens? At that time, the second user is requested, suppose. Second user is also interested on the same table data. Let us consider. So first what happens? That if the expected data is already available in the buffer, okay, then simply it reads from buffer and display to the user. So that's it. That is, it saves time. Yes. So next, reading from reading data from buffer is 100 times, 100x we are calling it, faster than reading from database. Because why? Because there is a network traffic. It avoids loading. Okay, avoids the network traffic. Okay, yes, this is what. Next, network traffic means loading data from one layer to another layer is obviously there is a lot of load. That load is reduced because of this reading from buffer. Because we are reading from application level only. Buffer is there at application level. That's why, yes. And this way, you are reusing the content. Earlier, one time you loaded, next time onwards, simply buffer data is only you are using. That's why buffers are reusable, and reading from buffer is this is faster. Okay, clear? Yes. But the thing is that if somebody modifies the original table, but this buffer is holding old data, but this user is getting old data, not up to the mark, up to latest data is available in the DB, little old data available in the buffer. That's why the limitation is if you go for buffers, what happens? You are ready to accept the little older data also. This is one of the concept, but it is faster to it is reusable because of the local buffers, because temporarily you are holding the data here. Yes. So how long this data holds? Once you shut down the server, the buffers gets removed. Buffers data it's automatically gets deleted. There is a one dollar TAB. Dollar TAB is a dollar tab. We call it as the dollar tab is used to clear all buffers at a time. Yes. Dollar tab is a kind of T code. So T code is used to clear all the buffers at a time. That is at a time explicitly clearing, because one is auto clear. Okay, explicitly you want to remove it. Yes, auto means once you close the servers and all, automatically it gets. That is buffer holds the data as long as it is running. Once you close the system down the server, it will get removed. This also you have to aware of. Okay, yeah, right. Next, here there are this buffering options. What is possible is database tables and database views can be buffered. Yes, the buffer option is available only at yes this level. So go to menu, technical settings. So under technical settings, you will find the buffer option. Yes. As we know that, yes, we can change technical settings of built-in tables, right? Any point of time. If you want to activate the buffering of any table, earlier it was not there. If you want to activate, you can change it also. Yes, that is possible. Okay. So now, if you go to the buffering option, there are, yes. If you go back, okay, this is taking time. No worries. Okay, right. Leave it. Procedure. I did not type it. You check it out. So log in again. SC11. Open any table or database table. Here you can see that even EMP customer, our own tables are built-in tables. Under technical settings, we have, yes, this is ECC server. That's why you have this indexes at the top. After HANA, this indexes is a part of the, yes, there are 5 tabs, but 6th tab indexes here added. That is, they brought from indexes from uh, application toolbar to bottom. Bottom means at this level. Only now, if you go to the HANA table, HANA open the KN1 table, you will get only technical setting, append structure at the application. Indexes comes at the below. Right. Now come to the technical settings. Go to menu, technical settings, or else you click on this technical settings button. Yes. Here you have buffering options, and this is column store, row store also introduced. At a ECC level only they introduced, because wherever the HANA DB is there, yes, column store concept also is there. By default, column store, you can change it to row store also if you want. But now I already covered the data class size category. What is pending is buffering options and log data changes is pending. So under this is your, at which level? At table level. So same way, if you go to the DB view, okay, some kind of view is there. Okay, star DB view, database. In this database view, or else you take any G star DB view, any view, DB star, you will get it. One database view, right? Yes, view DB, no worries. DB, go to the display. The database view level also, you have go to menu, technical settings. Yes, you have, okay, you have this, yes, buffer options are there, buffering. But log is not there. Yes, this is column store, row store. This is undefined because you are, this is at a view level. Okay. Yes. So these settings you can do it. But we will go back at a table level only. We will explore this option. Go to the table, any table, open it, go to technical settings. Here under buffering, buffer not allowed. First, first option is, yes. If you go to the options, if buffer not allowed is selected, what is the result? What is the impact? Impact is this table data always not loaded not loaded or processed in, via buffer or through buffer because it is, yes, not allowed. Next, there is a second option called as buffering allowed. Buffering allowed, buffering activated. But there is a switch on, switch off. What is the meaning of switch off? Okay. When to switch off and when to activate. Buffer allowed but switched off. Okay. So buffer, yes, if buffer allowed but switched off, option is selected. If this option is because which what is that? If you check, that is a kind of radio button. That is among these three, you can select one. This is radio button group. Once you can choose one at a time. These are all checkbox. So checkboxes means multiple checks possible. But radio button only one. This is radio button is called as option buttons in Microsoft. So you can choose one option at a time, not all at a time. If I go to the change mode, because I can change K11 settings also, no worry. So I can choose this. That is control automatically comes here. Buffer allowed but switch it off. Like when you go, if this option is selected, as a result, what happens? This table data, that is the current table data, is loaded into buffer. But okay, if we okay, we can choose this option. Uh, okay, if we are not aware of, if we are not aware of expected data into buffer, then only we can, yes, choose this switch off option. Then last one, what is the buffer activated? Yes, last option is if buffer activated is the, yes, if this option is selected, yes, if this option is selected, result what happens? This table data, database table data is loaded or processed into buffer. But when to activate means it's a kind of switching on. It is above is switched off, this is switching on. Yes, immediately. Okay, if this option is selected, what you have to do is we have to specify, okay, specify buffering type, buffering type immediately. This is your important activity, buffering type. This is a kind of, that means indirectly this is selected. When we have to select this option if you are aware of how much data is loaded into buffer. If you are not aware, unpredictable in advance, switch it off is the best option. If you know that, switch on is there. Yes, this is okay. How does this buffers improve the performance is reading every time underlying data, moving the data from database layer to the application takes a lot of load on the system. Network traffic. To avoid that, one of the solution to speed up is buffer through. We can read from application level so that you can reuse that content or data. That's what the reusable scenario of the buffers. Okay, let's go back to the like What next? There are bufferings, again subclassified as three types, buffering type: single record buffer, generic area buffer, fully buffered. So we will go to the an example of three options. We will explore it. Yes. So this is in fact interview question. Tell me buffering types. Okay. Very, very important types. Buffering types. Yeah, architect level, this decision is very crucial. Which one to select, when, and how. So fully buffered. Yes. And moreover, this is check boxes, three options. A check boxes means you can check single, check all, check none also, okay. But none is not allowed, immediately will get error because you go with, suppose if I select buffering activated, then what happens? You have to choose any one among this, at least one. Okay. So by default, almost for all the tables, first option is selected. That is explicitly requirement specific only. We will go and choose the buffering types. Okay. So come back to here, fully buffered. If this checkbox is activated, if this checkbox is activated, what happens? All the data is loaded into buffer. All the data is loaded into buffer. Okay. If we are fetching single record also. That is the concept of full buffer. So full buffer, yes, one of the example for full buffering is this. You can go and check the table. Yes. Which table is recommended for full buffering? SC11. Yes. This is, so some countries. Okay. T00 T005 is all countries are stored here. Yes. So if you go to technical settings, full buffer is selected. Buffering is activated, full buffering is selected. This is the way you can conclude it. So best example is, example also noted down, T005. T005, okay, table is activated with full buffering. Okay. What is the meaning of that is, yes, this table stores, it stores all countries information, all countries data. That is country details. Like if you go to the, yes, T005, you will get it. If the land one, country key, postal code, length, etc. Yes, all these details. So now, okay, yes, SAP itself. This is, this checkbox is done by SAP only, fully buffered. That is, if you hit this table, even for single time also, for if you want to fetch the, yes, assume that there is a T005 table is there in the database. If I want to fetch a single record from this table, even though you want to read single record also, entire table T005 is loaded into buffer. Whether you read single record or two record or 10 record or all records, if you touch the table, and every time all the data is loaded into buffer. Yes, that is the advantage come limitation. So every time, yes, each time all the data, yes, each time all the data is loaded into buffer. Loaded into buffer. That is because of the full buffer is selected. That is why it is recommended for what? It is recommended for frequently accessed. Okay, yes, wait. Small size table, small size table with frequently accessed, frequently accessed. That is when we have to go for full buffering is okay. Full buffer concept you try to understand this way. Normally Control C when we do Microsoft Windows, select something, Control C means it goes to the buffer. That buffer is called a keyboard wear at Microsoft. When you go for Control V, cut paste or copy paste, what happens? It read from clipboard viewer and it will paste into the target area. That's what happens, right? So what is this? Small size table. Okay, that is less small size table and frequently accessed tables are recommended for fully buffering. That is this table which we want to work with many times we are working with this countries table. Then this is a small table. Then every time you can load it into buffer. That is the concept of fully buffering. Okay, yes. Hope you guys understand. Then second one is single record buffer. Single record buffer is nothing but yes, if this checkbox is activated, only single record is loaded into buffer. Single record is loaded into buffer. Simple. This is one other example of like if you go to back back there is a yes counter is there, counter details. We want a simple small size table, very four records, so four columns only available here. And go to the technical settings. So here it is. These actually they were saying okay, fine, no problem. Like we can check it out. Another table also. This is a small size table. If you are fetching frequently, select a single star result. There is a query in ABAP. We write select a single star. That select single star through. You can get the single result only. Yes. So if you want to see this information, we have to go to the yes buffering concept because here somewhere you will find tables. Yes, buffering. Then technical settings. First data class. Second is size category. Yes, this is your size category. Then buffering permissions. Yes, this is your buffering permissions. Then go to the buffering types. Yes, this is your full generic buffer. If we go to the full buffering concept, yes, this is your full buffering. So this is your yes counter table only. They have given example for everything. Select star from this is the database table. This is the buffer result where MANDT 001 carried equals to LH and counter num equals to 004. If you write this query, actually 001 client is okay. LH these records you will get it, but 004 is this query result only single record is only matching. But since it is resulted as a full buffering. This entire table content is loaded into buffer. That is database table data, buffer data, both are same because it is full buffering result. So when full buffering is table size up to 30 KB, frequently accessed, frequently read, and rarely modified. This is also important. Okay, yes, that is it should be rarely modified also important. You cannot okay, that I frequently accessed and rarely modified. Modified table only recommended for this. Okay. Then go to the next level example. Fine. Go to single record. Single record is this only. S counter example they took. Select single star from S counter where same query again. Okay. Yes. So exactly single record is loaded into this. So single record buffering is yes, it is only applicable to the select single result. Yes. Okay, it is particularly useful for large size table when where few records are accessed by using select single. If the size is up to between 100 to 200 KB, then only select single is recommended. Right. Okay, this is one of the example. Last example is this generic area buffer. Generic area buffer. This is very, very important. If this option is selected, we have to specify the key fields. Key fields. That is by specifying number of key fields, we are defining the generic key. So what happens as a result, only the generic key matching records, okay, generic key matching records only loaded into buffer. So what is generic key again? Generic key is a part of key field. Generic key is considered as left justified combination of keys, combination of left justified key fields. That is called as a generic key. So generic area buffer is generic key result only. What is that? We will give. We can see it, look at into this example. So here, go to the generic buffer. Generic buffer. So this is again S counter table, application server. Select star from S counter where MID 001, char ID and counter num. So if you go to 001, all records you will get it. Char ID LH means only Lufthansa records, these records only you will get it. And if you go to 004, only see, this record only the right way actually. But since the generic key is defined as this two key fields combination, left justified 1 and 2. So 1 means MINDT only, 2 means this and this. Okay, left justified keys. So that is MINDT carry combination generic key is defined. That's why 001 LH combination all entries are loaded into buffer. Generic key matching records are loaded into buffer. Okay. Yes, this is about your generic buffering. There is a one example we will see this. Okay. And 11 GD02. Okay, this table we will go and check it out in the technical settings. This is a small size table. Table's text is available. You can see here, but this is not there. Okay, we have to see which table for generic. I will tell you by tomorrow. Generic tables are also some examples are there. So we can activate it based on our requirement. So now if you look at what is the generic key concept, if you go to the SAP, go to technical settings, go to change mode, yes, activate it, no worries. Activate it, go to the generic area. Generic area buffered, if I select it, you have to specify the number of keys. Number of keys in this F4 you have 1, 2, 3. Why 1, 2, 3? First we will go back to the table first. Yes, table 1, 2, 3, 4. So total 4 keys are there. 4 key fields are there in this transparent table. So if you go to the technique, that means tab name, language, and activation status, and as well as version. Go to technical settings, change mode, activate generic area buffer. If I select generic key as 1, suppose, because you have to take from left side. Left side 1 is the first field only considered as a generic key. Key field 1 only used for generic buffering. If you go to the 2, 2 means second field is considering as, that is left 1 and 2 is considering as, 3 means left side 1, 2, 3. You have to count from left side. 1, 2, 3 key fields are considered as a, if you go for 3, activate, suppose it will ask for TR. Okay, yes. If you go back and check, 3 fields means 1, 2, 3. So these 3 keys combination, it is considered as a generic key. Okay, generic key matching records only loaded into buffer. So yes, this is, there are overall how many options available. Buffer not allowed, allowed with switched off or switched on. If it is switched on, you have to specify this, a single record or generic or fully buffered. These 3 options, you remember it. And basically, final conclude statements. What is that? So by default, all the tables, all the database tables buffering is not activated. Yes, that is based on our requirement. We can go, we can activate buffering. This is final. Yes, buffering is recommended again for if you are frequently accessing and rarely modifying. This is the fundamental answer. Okay, yes, because these tables are very rarely modified. Then only it is recommended for buffering. If it is frequently modified, then generally not recommended for buffer. Okay, yes, that is your overall. Yes, right. There is a concept called as buffer synchronization. That is nothing but if um, okay, one user got one data, second user got latest data, suppose. These two buffers have different, one buffer old data, another buffer new data. Yes. So what happens? There is at some random intervals, these two buffers like will be in sync. That is so that these buffers will be validated which data is latest. Accordingly, the old buffer data gets deleted automatically. That concept is called as buffer synchronization. That is a separate topic altogether. Okay, just slides through that explanation is given. So this is about your overall buffering concept introduction, where we can do the setting at a table level, at a view level. Yes. Okay. This is your, if you go to, yes, somewhere, yes, we will type it here as a /n. If you want to clear all the buffers, the $tab is a T code, which is actually $tab is there. Yes, we can, that is used to reset the buffer content. This was there. Okay. So that's about your overall topic. Okay. Of, yes, here it is. Yes, buffering tables. You can also still refer to the buffering tables like this. Application level query as database interface. First look at buffer, then it will fetch the old data and load it into buffer. Yes, it will happen like this. The program reads the data, load it into buffer first. Application server level, local buffer is loaded. So if you look at 2 minutes, synchronization option also explained here. Application server 1 buffer, two programs reading the same data. Read write, bidirectional. Yes. So what happens? Example of buffer synchronization is given here. Event 1, 2, 3, 4 symbols are given here. Yes, what is the first step? So 1, 2, 3, 4 through you will understand this. So buffer 1, buffer 2, same tab. That is same table's data is available at a two level, two buffers. So first select star from data, first request, result is loaded into buffer, first initial data. Then second user also read the data from the same table, but the result is field value is table is 1, but they are reading field X value. These people are reading field Y value. That's why it is checking the underlying tables through. You are getting, so two tables holds one result, one request, two result is loaded. Three request, four result is loaded. So at this time, two tables holds the same table data, but this is Y record. This is Y field information. This is X field information. Synchronization table is empty at this time. But what happens? Okay, what happens at you have to see 6, 7, 8. So, if what happens if the user changes, the underlying table is modified, suppose by using delete. That is, second user perform the delete. Delete is a deleting, means we are changing the original table data. When second user delete the original table data, as a result, the synchronization table is updated that the second user modified the original table. This information is updated here. Tab is modified by so and so user, so and so server. Server 1 and buffer 1 result. So this is modified. Then what happens? But still the second server 2 is still holding the old data. This is after deletion result, but this is before deletion result, old data is there. So synchronization table is updated here. After few random intervals, two buffers come into contact and they will verify the synchronization table. If it is empty means the original content is not modified. If it is something is written here, at ninth step what happened? The synchronization happens. So that result is then the second buffer uh, will come to know that it is modified original table. That's why its data gets deleted. The sync happens. Then sync result both tables, both buffers gets updated at the 10th and yes, at 10th level. So that what happens then when 11th comes, you will get the original and deleted record, not deleted records. This is what the concept of buffering, buffering and buffer synchronization. Both buffers gets yes. So this is what about your which table should be buffered is the final question. Only transparent tables. Okay, pooled also can be buffered. Cluster cannot be buffered. Okay, fine. This is one limitation. And yes, we are looking at the updated information. Earlier, pooled and clusters was not cannot be buffered. The data type with all the key fields with C and DT. Okay, okay, fine then. Okay, next. This is your the following access will always bypass buffer. That is, these select statements result never be loaded into buffer. Example, select with bypass buffer addition will always directly loaded in without entering into buffer. Select for update always bypass buffer. Select with aggregate functions result is always bypass buffer. Select with distinct addition will bypass buffer. Select with where clause is null is always bypass buffer. Select with order by without primary key always bypass buffer. Okay, so this is all about your yes. So lot of explanation is given here. Yes. Finally, there is a chart is also given when to go for yes. How do you analyze the buffer quality and all? Yes. Okay. Before going to the indexes, buffering option is uh, explained here. Okay. Thank you. We'll continue tomorrow. Thanks.